What is up YouTube? Welcome back to another episode on Code with Annie. In this episode, we're going to deep dive a bit into priority queue and take a look at how we can implement custom object comparison using priority queue. So if you recall, in the last video of queues, I have explained to you about the different types of queues, including priority queue and deck. And in that video, I had implemented a very simple priority queue, which by default is the minimum priority queue, meaning if I take a basic integer set of integers and put them into the queue, right, it will be automatically sorted in the ascending order. And when I try to poll the elements of the queue, the priority will be given to the smallest integer first. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how you can implement custom objects that can be put into queue, and that custom object can be prioritized. Right, so let's take the example of employee age object that we have here. So what I'm planning to do is I'm going to create a queue of employees, okay, basically employee age objects, wherein I want to sort the employees by their age. Let's say I want the employee who's the youngest one to be first, and from there I'm going to go all the way up to the oldest employee. So my priority is youngest one is given the first priority, and the oldest one is given the last priority. Okay, now let's try to implement that. So I'm going to say queue, okay, and space employee age, because I'm going to create objects of employee age, right? So the queue is going to hold employee age objects, space emp age ages equal to new priority queue of, so I'm just going to leave it blank for now. So what I'm going to say is, in order to have a comparison of all the employee age objects, right, I need to implement something called as a comparator. Okay, in Java, let me show you how we can implement a comparator. Let's say I want to create a class called emp age comparator. Okay, I'm going to say emp age comparator. Oh, 1 minute, I think it came on top, sorry. Yeah, implements comparator. Okay, comparator of emp age. I have to mention what type of object I'm going to be comparing. So this is an interface in Java provided by the util package, which is basically used to implement something called as a compare method, which basically just takes two objects of type T. In this case, the type T is nothing but emp age from generics, right? It's a generic implementation, and you are passing emp age object to it. So I'm saying that if I take two emp age objects, I want to implement a comparison between those two objects. So on what basis I'm going to compare here? So let's see. What we're going to do here is, we have a method called compare, right? Let's implement that method. You have multiple methods, but we are just going to focus on the compare method. Okay, so what it is trying to do is it returns an integer. Okay, but now it is saying that to compare employee O1 and employee O2, sorry, employee age O1 and employee age O2, I'm going to use the year, right? Based on the birth year, whichever is greater, that means that guy is the youngest one, and he will be given the first priority. So what I'm going to do is, there is a method in integer class, okay, integer dot compare. Okay, I can say O1 dot get year comma O2 dot get year. That's it. Now what does this compare method do in the integer class? It takes two integers, because I passed get year, right? Year is an integer and both of them are integers here. So for both the objects, I've taken the integer element out, and I'm saying that if x is less than y, return -1, meaning if there are two employees and one is younger than the other one, less than y means one is older than the other one, then return -1. If they're equal of age, return 0. Otherwise, return 1. This is called as a ternary representation of if-else conditions. This is called as a ternary representation in Java. Alright, what it means is, this is a if condition. Implicitly it says that if x is less than y, question mark, then return -1. This colon means else. This is another if condition. Okay, it says that if x equal to 0, then return 0, else return 1. Okay, this entire thing, whatever I told you in if else, is translated in a ternary language like this. So keep in mind that whenever you want to write a simple one-liner statement, right, if you want to condense an if-else statement into one line, this is how you will be trying to do that. You can take a look at this, pause the video and reiterate through what I've said to have a better understanding of what I was saying. so that it will be easier for you going forward seeing such ternary conditions. Okay, now let's come back to this one. I'm saying that if whenever there is a 1 returned by this comparison method, right, it means that whatever element that is the higher one, for example in the year, right, 1992 or 1992 is greater, which means the person is younger. 92 will be given priority, top priority. 90 will be given the second priority. So whatever is written 1 is given the top priority, whatever is written -1 is given the least priority. 0 is the same priority. Okay, so both of them will be one after the other. Okay, it doesn't make any difference. Now what we will do is, this comparison is done. Now let's go back to the main class and let's put it here, new emp age comparator. That's it. Now let's test our theories. So you just have to pass the instance of the comparator object here. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. New employee age comparator. Now I'm going to say emp ages dot add new emp age. Let me add 3 employees. Okay, one with the year 1989, one with the year 1992, okay, one with the year 1990. Okay, so 89, 92, 90. So what I'm expecting out of this is 92 being the younger one should come up, but ideally it will not be the case because this is only integer comparison. So what it is expected to do is 89 followed by 90, then 92. That means the oldest employee is going to come first. Let's test the theory out, and I'll tell you one important thing with respect to these. So let me write the for each loop for this. So I'm just going to iterate over all of the employees, and I'm going to say emp age. So automatically it gives you a suggestion, right? This is a lambda expression. So I'm saying for every employee age in employee ages, just print out emp age dot get here. Now let's try to run this. And let's see what is the result. It says 89, 92, 90. Now I was expecting 89, 90, 92, correct? But it is printed something else, right? Okay, now what we will do is emp ages dot, so I'm gonna put an s out. I'm gonna leave a space, and I'm gonna say system.out.println employee ages dot poll. Okay, 3 times I'm gonna poll the queue, meaning I'm gonna take elements one by one out of the queue. Only 3 elements I've added, so I'm gonna remove all the 3 of them and print out what is there one by one. Let's do that. Now, okay, because I've just printed the element, it's printing the object ID here. I don't want that. I want the year actually. Okay. Still, you see 89, 92, 90, right? Keep this in mind. While we print out again, and now you can see 89, 92, 90, but look at what it has polled: 89, 90, 92. This is a very important lesson that you guys have to know, that in a queue, if you try to use the for each loop to iterate over the elements of the queue, it will not return you the order in which the queue was actually sorted. Okay, keep this in mind. For each loop does not preserve the order of what priority queue has done within. Right, within the priority queue, this is the order it maintains, but for each loop may not return you the same order. It may or may not return you. So if you run it 100 times, one time you might see 89, 90, 92, but it is not guaranteed to happen. Okay, so this is a very important lesson for you guys. Any priority queue or any queue implementation you have, don't use the for each loop on top of it, or iterator for that matter. Okay, always rely on the poll method or peek method to see the element, right, whatever is there on the top. So I've used poll method thrice to remove the element completely from the queue. Okay, and that's how I see that, okay, it has properly applied the comparison. So 89 being less than 90 comes first, 90 being less than 92 comes second, and 92 is the biggest one, comes in the last. Now the original requirement for us was the youngest employee should come first, correct? So all you have to do is go to the employee age comparator and just say that o2.getYear less than o1.getYear. Just swap these two. So if you just swap it, this entire thing should become reversed. 92, 90, 89 should be the one that you will be getting. Okay, let's try to run that. and validate our understanding. Alright. See, again it printed out 92, 89, 90, right? The for each loop is completely unreliable. Do not use the for each loop. Use the pull. See, 92, 90, 89. Okay, I hope this gives you a very good clarity on what the concept of priority queue is, how it can be used on custom objects like employee age and many other custom objects as well out there, and the comparator implementation as well, which is used to compare two objects. Okay, here I'm using integer to compare because I'm simply looking at an integer called year, birth year. Okay, but if you have any other complex comparisons like name based sorting, right, all those can also be done directly. Okay, that will be using string comparison. Okay, you can read about more on the comparators and the integer.compare methods, and also about the ternary operations, so that you get a quick hands-on on how to implement these when you do your real-world code. And if you like this video, do hit the like button, subscribe to Code with Ani if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.